On the 13th day of the day, I was the owner of a convenience store. I was forced to move to the supermarket. I changed my place in this life. I had a good life with my foo-foo. When I opened my eyes, I was able to touch my neck. The place where I was bitten by the last life was very painful. But now, there is only a piece of light in it. There is a soft blanket underneath. Foo-foo crawled on the bedside and hit Changhan. I got up and rushed to the door. I was sure that the lock of the door was not damaged. That's why I gave up. After graduation, I opened this convenience store. The living room was next to the store. On the day of the last life, I was exposed. The location of the flat was not brought to Anning. Instead, I was forced to move to the supermarket. The old customer became a robber. He took the knife and cut off the door. He forced me to be cautious. I could only hide in the basement with foo-foo and a few bags of biscuits. Once I was revived, I would not make the same mistake again. I immediately rushed to the store next door. I printed a few telegrams from the store. The boss is a middle-aged man who loves gossip. He asked me at first, "Xiaoyan, don't you do telegrams?" "Yes, I do." I took the paper and turned around. As long as he knew, he would know the whole street in the middle of the day. When I got back to the store, I started to clean up the goods. There was a basement of Jiman Hui in the supermarket. At first, I chose this store because the basement was big enough. I didn't expect it to be a big place now. I left all the food I could eat. Plastic bags, cans, rice noodles, snacks, and all. A few ice cubes were emptied by me. I had to cool my body. Then I moved all the daily necessities and toiletries into the basement. After doing all this, I realized that my food was solved. But Foo-foo's dog food was enough to eat for 2 months. I also brought a lot of cat sand and kitchenware. After I was ready to stop the water, I went to the toilet. Then I went to the hardware store and bought the sound material. I went to the sports equipment store and booked a running machine. Foo-foo had been through a lot of trouble in the past. It was almost dangerous. This time, I had to solve it in advance. And there was a mess in the water and electricity in the last life. I was still in a daze. I immediately called the owner of the plant. He bought a few of the best solar panels. My cousin told me that he was buying them. He didn't suspect it. He only said that he would send them in the afternoon. My dad was already on a small hill. He tried to be kicked out of the building. Only my back door was able to enter. The sunlight was full. It was the perfect place to put the solar panels. As long as the back door was closed, no one could enter. I was very capable and strong. I quickly traveled to the basement. After doing all this, I found out all the big bucket and water equipment that could be sealed. I started to go crazy. Until the water bucket full of water was piled up. The basement was in the middle of the room. That's when I felt the so-called peace in my heart. After all this, I was going to take out my phone and put it next to the doctor's old friend to buy some medicine. I didn't expect him to give me a chance to scream. I pressed the throat and said, "The situation is not right recently. I got some basic medicine and food. I sent you the order. I bought it secretly. Don't go out these days." I said it and hung up. The phone quickly sent it to me. I was worried. Did he also re-sign it? Or did he say I was the only one who didn't re-sign it? When I thought about it, I was shaking off the number of my mother. In the last life, there was a second wave of danger. They were already found here by the infected brother. In order to keep the bottomless hole alive, my parents forced me to take the risk of going out to find food. Foo-foo was kicked by Yang Fu to protect me. Later on, I didn't dare to go back. The phone was connected. The voice of my mother came to me. "Hey, who is it?" For many years, this is the first time I contacted them. I just opened the door and saw the mountain. Mom, it's me. I have to transfer my power. Do you want to do business at home? I'm in a hurry to use the money. It can be cheaper. He stood up and shouted at random. The girl was still in touch with me. What about the monthly living expenses? The store is not open. Who gave us money? When he's tired, I'll pick him up right away. I'm sick. Transferring electricity is to make money. Mom, can you lend me some money first? Otherwise, I can only live in your house. Because of the fall, the phone was broken. And then I was busy. I often lost my breath. The wallet was broken. They naturally lost it right away. It's good that they didn't re-sign it. They didn't know the secret of my basement. I found the previous operation list. And then I took Jianchuan's list to the hospital to buy the medicine. In the afternoon, I asked the teacher at the market. I just put the basement entrance and the back door in the back door. I put them in the back door. I also opened a hidden observation window at the door. The solar panel was also well received. I sent it to Fufu. I put the best sound material in the basement door and stairs. Fufu ran on the running machine for a few seconds. I couldn't hear it in the shop. The effect is very good. The underground entrance after the warehouse was blocked by heavy goods. From the outside, it looks like a wall with light. I started to move out of the box. The image of the way out. I met the neighbor and said that there was something in the house. It seems to have a shooting disease nearby. At night, I took Fufu with me to eat a stew. I saw his big mouth swallowing the meat. I didn't know what to do. I bought short-term supplies. I had to make plans for a long time. The next day, I bought some vegetable seeds. Nutritional soil and plant growth light. I added a few super strong drone and satellite camera. I put the camera separately in the envelope of the sign. High place in the shop. The small road in the backyard and the back mountain. The monitor screen directly connected to my tablet. The last day, I didn't go out. I put dozens of charging points and batteries into the charging outlet. I put all the electronic equipment. 3 full-line movie and theater. Connected with the air conditioning equipment. In the underground room. I have been created here. A absolutely safe treasure. I pulled down the joint door. Iron sandpaper sent out the sound of a tear. The whole world is out of control. I have to send a message to Jianchuan. How is it over there? Unfortunately, I didn't reply. I took a deep breath. I started to set up the last scene. I deliberately left some snacks and water in the shop. I pushed the goods to the east and west. The owner of the warehouse ran away in panic. So even if someone broke in, it won't cost a lot of money to dig it up. After doing all this, I took Fufu back to the underground room. The iron door behind the house is dead. The food is full of food and medicine and tools. Fufu rely on me. The tail is a little wobbly. Look at him happy. I finally feel at ease. Through monitoring, I see a bright night outside the small shop. People still walk on the road. Have a happy weekend. No one knows what will happen tomorrow. At this moment, it's not enough to reach the time of the day. 12 hours. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I took Fufu to the underground room. On the surface, there is nothing like a normal day. But no one knows. Danger is about to come. I hide in the underground room in advance. Eat instant noodles. Then I secretly pay attention to the outside world. The first business incident on the internet. Many places have the same incident. The so-called expert rumor. It's just some kind of new disease. The attention of the public is quickly transferred. Even started to play with the dog. I tried to post a warning. I told everyone to hurry up. Take off some biscuits and mineral water. As a result, the comment area is full. Ha ha ha. The main broadcast is a small animation. They watched a lot again. They don't know at all. This is not a disease. It's the coming of the day. I sighed. There is still no news of Jiangchuan in my phone. My dog Fufu is very dangerous. I can't run on the running machine. I slept early. After 3 days, the master of the Piao family was kidnapped. And the first batch of funeral masters has been completed. The fear and the survival of the poor. The order began to collapse. Like what I expected. My so-called parents. They started calling me crazy. I didn't pick up. The second week. There was also an infection in our city. I saw it from the surveillance. Someone was wandering at the entrance of my convenience store. At first, they saw the transfer plate and left. But it didn't take long. Someone started to try to break the rolling door. After they couldn't open it, they asked me in the group, "Why didn't you open the store? Did you have any storage?" I didn't wait for my reply. Very soon, the question became a threat. Don't pretend to die. If you don't open the door, just go down. At this time, the boss of the sound store, he actually stood up to help me. Said I had moved away long ago. Fortunately, he left in advance. Otherwise, at this time, help me. I will only let him become the next target. But there are still a few residents, all dressed up to knock down the door. But I have already changed the lock of the warehouse. Plus the sound of the alarm. It's more something that will attract people. They can only go back and forth. But a wave of people. The wheel is broken. A few days have passed. The alarm is lost. This door is very dangerous. What makes me feel uneasy is the scary couple in the last room. It should have appeared at the right time. This night, I was panicked. I cooked hot pot in the basement. Smell the hot pot of the house. I feel safe and sound. Fufu is in my arms. Quietly watch the TV with me. I touched his head. The doctor said, "Fufu, it may be a little long from tomorrow. But don't be afraid. I will protect you." The next day, that familiar shadow, staring at my pale brother, appeared at the door. His hands and feet are tied. It looks like they can't even wake up the memory of the previous life. I looked at the door that was extremely dangerous. It was about to be opened by them. I immediately changed the name of the night group. The night was not dark. Then, I sent 3 messages. I don't live here anymore. But there are still some things in the store. You can take it yourself. I know. For many people who are already cold, it's a fatal temptation. In the monitoring, the young Fengdong Hui Gate and young Mu and Li Tai Chi roll the door. Put the brother in first. Fufu is squatting in the stairs. He has a lot of ears. I took a picture of him. The monitoring went inside. The 3 of them were crazy. They went to the warehouse. I didn't notice it at all. This little shop has another potential. Kid, hurry up. Move that cake to the corner first. But he fainted. Suddenly, the roll of the door suddenly came out. 2 people suddenly became golden birds. They hid in the corner of the wall. But they found out that it wasn't a funeral. It was the residents with a knife and a knife. Yang Mu looked at the people. He was afraid. "What are you doing? This is my daughter's shop. It's all ours. Get out. It's a few young men and women on the stairs. They are all a little rebellious. They used to come to my shop before. It was the first time I came. I didn't expect it at all. Those people were blind. They were scolded by Yang Mu. The fire suddenly came. There were a lot of weapons. They went straight up to steal things. Yang Fu's hard work and good supplies. It was convenient for them. Yang Fu didn't know the strength of Grandma. He pushed the person in front of him. The next one was the one who fell on the ground. He was confused. But this is a three-legged cat. In front of a few young people. It was not enough to look at. It was pressed on the ground very quickly. I was about to turn off the monitor. There was a scene where my head was numb in the picture. My brother who was trapped. I don't know when he took off the rope. He stood up. I was all over the place. His face was full of gold. His eyes turned gray. I had completely lost my mind. This is not a beginner infected person. This is clearly the characteristic of the last episode. His medical speed is actually faster. He went to the most secret place in the Chaoran group. The scene was in chaos. The monitor was dead. A man reacted quickly. He didn't answer his head. He grabbed a bag of biscuits and rushed to the outside. There were a few more noises in the chaos. The situation could not be returned completely. This accident completely messed up my plan. I immediately turned off the monitor. The power was broken. Now I can rely on it. Only this hidden underground room door. I took out the pen. This is the different point of the funeral. The medical speed is faster. It means that the water is cut off and the power is cut off. It's all in advance. As expected. The funeral of the fast medical doctor quickly occupied the whole building. When the signal of the hotel is usually broadcast to the full extent. The underground room is also water stop. I immediately adjusted all the equipment to the power mode. Another month passed. The society continued to stop all the time. The signal also became a period of time. Sometimes even a few days can't contact the outside world. But sometimes. It can always recover a small thing when you are almost desperate. I know that there are people out there fighting for survival. When the time comes, I take Fufu to the underground room to live a life that is changed. I even have a Fufu that makes me fat. But I don't see the sun for a long time. My emotions are getting more and more unstable. Finally, I took the signal to recover and released the drone. As a result, I found a shocking fact. Not only the number of infected people in this month is decreasing, but also each of them are sick. They are active. Once a thought is flashed. Do they also need energy? If they can't get it for a long time, will they starve to death? If so, there is hope for the people who are alive. I actually handed in a pen on a drone. Next to the top floor, there is a little girl who lives here. She is a social terrorist. I used to collect a lot of food and water here. Sometimes she would follow me and feed the dogs. I sometimes use a drone to give her some vegetables. To encourage each other. But I didn't expect that this heartless action would help me a lot in the future. On that day, I just finished my work. I was in the back of the drone. I saw a familiar figure in the stairs next door. Jiang Chuan, his beard is short. But his eyes are bright and his actions are sharp. It doesn't look like he was infected. Why is he here? He found a drone. He immediately covered his eyes. I was so worried. If he ran away, I would find another living person. Moreover, I always doubted that he was also a survivor. I immediately sent another drone to pick it up. It shows my identity. After seeing it, I couldn't hide the surprise in my eyes. I immediately let it come down. But the problem is that there are a few monsters downstairs. Although their actions are simple, but their actions are still dangerous. Looking at Jiang Chuan, he is going to hit the monster. Sinny Hang, opened the door of the drone to the maximum. The screen of the drone is directly on the table. It is playing a fighting game. The next second, the drone was shouting in the air with a loud voice. Shigue flew back to the palace. The moment Jiang Chuan fell down, even a few of the monsters of the drone stopped their footsteps. Then, they went in the direction of the noise. Jiang Chuan looked at the time. A turnstile came out of the stairs and came to the convenience store. I also quickly opened the door of the basement. I pulled it in. I locked the door with my hand. I used a drone. Another living person. This is cheaper than buying. It's worth it. I cooked the noodles for the hungry Jiang Chuan. I haven't asked him anything yet. He looked at me. But there was a bomb in his head. He said he was born again. After he woke up, he reported everything. He was randomly sent to a secret base. There was a group of doctors who experienced the same life as him. I thought there was only one survivor in the whole world. I didn't expect that. There was a group of people in the back of the whole world. They suddenly asked for a kind of speed monster medical treatment. In the end, they destroyed themselves. I instantly understood that the monsters outside are not naturally weak, but the result of the human initiative. But I have another question. They are all doctors. What about me? A person in the supermarket. Is it an accident in the plan? Jiang Chuan told me. They went to a city to put up a speedy machine. But the speedy machine also accelerated the explosion of the monster. The traffic was fast. Jiang Chuan's team was in a hurry. The whole army was silent. He pointed at the backpack behind him. There was a hope of 3 soldiers near him. If I didn't save him, the result wouldn't be as good as expected. I was silent. It turned out that the same was the rebirth. I was only thinking about how to live with Fu Fu. But Jiang Chuan was in the whole world. I watched Fu Fu, who was playing around with Jiang Chuan. I instantly thought about it. If he fails, we will have no more supplies. And we won't be able to save the monster. For Fu Fu, and for myself, I have to help him this time. I told Jiang Chuan about my thoughts. He was surprised. But he soon accepted my new teammate. But before I left, I had to calm down and help Fu Fu first. I tried my best to invite the girl next door to the building next door. When he found out that the mysterious girl was actually me, he was shocked. That night, I took out the delicious dishes. On the bottom of the box, I fried the chicken duck and stewed the fish. They were all my new vegetables. Jiang Chuan also cooked a little stir-fried meat. He also stewed the meat soup for Fu Fu. The 3 of us went back to the desert and had a meal. The next day, after Fu Fu entrusted her to the girl, Jiang Chuan and I went on the road to the dormitory. I prepared for less than 10 days. I wore a protective mask and a protective mask. I planned a small alley on the way out of the road. We took the risk to reach the first shelter in the east. The scene in front of us was a nightmare. There was no one. There was only a mysterious monster. The warehouse was already cleaned up. Jiang Chuan and Chen Mo fixed the water dispenser. He scattered the first drug. We immediately changed the route. We went to the second shelter. But we saw the truth of the people in the distance. In that place, it was said that it was the survivors' base. It was said that it was the winners' camp. In order to survive, they would hurt other survivors. We didn't dare to get close. We immediately moved away. We went to the third shelter. The path was difficult. We took care of each other. We all supported Fufu. After 20 days of staying at home, we finally reached the third shelter. That was renovated by the air conditioning. When I heard the news from the lab, I finally couldn't bear to cry. There was still a lot to do. I saw 3 of them at home. Jiang Chuan immediately communicated. The mission was completed. We waited for 5 months at the shelter. The signal was finally restored. I was in touch with the little girl in the neighborhood. In the next 4 days, I finally received the reply. Fufu and he were safe and sound. At that moment, my day was really over. Later, the news of the search team was confirmed. The so-called second shelter was not able to protect it. No one survived. When everything was restored, Jiang Chuan and I finally went home. Fufu took care of the little girl. She was fat again. Jiang Chuan also agreed to my invitation to stay at my house. So after everything returned to normal, my first big thing was to take Jiang Chuan with me to lose weight. That night, I took Fufu and Jiang Chuan to eat barbecue again. The barbecue box was floating on the street for a long time. I immediately ordered his special meat skewers. We drank the drink, talked about the sky, and the wind blew. I looked at the people around me and the dogs. I think this day is more traitorous than before.